Israel is lost, is aimless. None of it achieves anything, really. You end up with like a Vietnam situation. That can really dishearten a military. There is a Israeli general who has been speaking out. First name Israel. Boy, they do love their Israel over there, don't they? I've been to Israel. Israelis love their Israel. I'll tell you that much. Israel Ziv, Major General of the IDF, former head of IDF's Operations Directorate, he decided to speak out a little bit about what exactly is going on in this special genocide operation, day 174. And he said, to the question of whether it was right to withdraw most of the IDF troops from Gaza, Ziv replied, in the absence of a policy, what is the IDF supposed to do? We are over 5 months into this war without any predictable political goal. Let's say we stayed until now. What next? Even if we stayed and declared that we were occupying, we would become the new government in Gaza. Israel would need to establish civil, police, and security systems and take care of the various services. What happened to us is not just the Hamas situation. The lack of decision-making on our part is the most serious thing. But it gets even worse. So he says there's no political goal. They basically don't know what they're doing. I mean, and here's the thing. I actually think that he's saying there's no political goal because the real goal is ethnic cleansing. The real goal is mass genocide. What they tell the IDF is they give them missions, go into these tunnels and do this thing. None of it achieves anything, really, not particularly. And so, really, at the end of the day, it's just genocide. But they can't claim that's the mission.
אנחנו במלחמה, אתם מבינים את זה מהיום הראשון.
So the IDF is left with like, what the hell are we doing here? What is the goal other than just shooting a bunch of people? Ziv later commented, Israel is in the middle of a very serious international crisis. I don't remember one like this before. It is a result not only of the lack of advocacy, but also that Israel is in a deep crisis as a result of the lack of policy. Everything points to the fact that the government does not make policy decisions, and not only do we not know what the best decision is, but the world does not know either. Over and over again, he's basically declaring that Israel is lost, is aimless, has no goals, doesn't know what the goals are. And you want to see what happens to a military when you don't give them goals. I mean, when they are doing such horrific things without goals, you end up with like a Vietnam situation where the U.S. military was just killing everybody they could, wiping out villages, bombing everything they could, but they didn't know what their goals were other than to shoot people. And the U.S. government didn't know what the goals were other than to shoot people. The U.S. government at the time thought that if you shoot enough people, then the North Vietnamese will stop fighting and we can just stop the communism. So it was basically just go and kill people. They don't tell that to the troops, just go and kill people. So they say to the troops, and this has become one of the biggest complaints of Vietnam from like a average soldier point of view. They would be told, we need to take that hill. And they would fight for the hill, and then they'd kill, and they'd watch their brothers get massacred, and they'd massacre so many people. And of course, the fighters on the other side are children as well. So you shoot a guy in the head and you go, I got him. And then you walk by and you see a dead 16-year-old and you go, what the hell are we doing here? Well, bullets whiz by your head and your friend died. And anyway, they win the hill and they go, we did it. We fought. My friends died, but I'm still here. We won the hill. Yeah. And then they go, okay, leave the hill. And they're like, what? We needed to take the hill, but there's nothing on this hill. There's no reason to hold this hill. This hill doesn't do anything for us. It's basically just how many can we kill? That can really dishearten a military. That's where you see the chain of command breaking down, and which I have brought you stories about how the chain of command in the IDF is breaking down. And that's said by certain people with internal knowledge. That's not just being said by me. Anyway, here is, again, a major general saying Israel's war in Gaza is lost and aimless. And by the way, this article is in a U.S. propaganda rag, the Jerusalem Post. And even they are willing to print that Israel's war is aimless and lost.